I saw this video. I want to say my little part on this video that I seen about this Latina female called Bird Martinez. She pretty much uh gave an insight on how the Latino culture treats black men, and how she pretty much debunked how hard it is for black men to date interracially than it is for black women, because we are always not the good side of black men is never promoted. I'm gonna get that out the way before I'm gonna get my thoughts in between about the video, but I'm gonna pretty much set it up to say my opinions and all the stuff that she said in the video. So let me get this off first. Our women pick the same type of man. They might jump and vary from certain man to man, but the fact is, the same type of men, they always get the same type of man as prototype. Um, they will date a guy who used to be in the streets, but now is a gamer, or they would date a guy who likes comic books, and who used to be a player and now he plays video games or watches animes or become to text. They always get some guy who's Black women always get some guy who always had a past from being a street dude or doing something rough to him being a whole lot different. They never go with a straight edge guy who's been doing the same thing years after years after years. You don't see them with a guy who never been in the street, knows about anime, games, tech, history, or whatever. That's different from the variations of the street thug with a suit on, or the nerd with swag, or any of that crap like that. They the reason why you don't never see any videos promoting black men on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, any websites dedicated to good black men, different variations of good black men. You never see it. And every time a man tries to go forward and say, this is not all of us, and they make websites on good black men, YouTube videos on good black men, Instagram, Facebook, any social media about good black men, we get shut down by our own women, and they flag our videos, they flag the Instagram posts, the Facebook posts, the Facebook groups that promotes good black men. They do that. And it's not just, there's even evidence to show that if you put up anything that promotes good black men, they will literally shut it down, because they don't want the word to get out that they actually don't like the good men. They don't like the organized men. They don't like the men who have it together, or they don't like the men who don't have it together, but they need one or two things to get themselves together. And this is the reason why we are so underpromoted as black men, because our women always choose the same type of guys. So this gives other races of people that narrative that we all are the same, because they don't see our women promoting the good ones. They only show them promoting the bad ones. And then when black women get angry at the ones that they chose, the bad ones, they always come up with an excuse of how they used to get beat up and get dragged and beat up on, how they got pregnant and left with a kid, or all these different stories. But everyone don't see the men and the process of who they were dating at the time. These wasn't good dudes. These wasn't guys who really was cool. Most of these guys they pick had a past. They were wanted by other race. They was wanted by other black women, so they fought over the same type of dude. And when it turned out bad, they went on the news. They went on different mediums and complained about these men. And other races of people, culture of people, see this and say, we don't want this We don't want that on our side of the fence, because they see it as kind of a, we don't want our women to be infected like they are towards their women. But the fact is, one of the things that she said in her video was how she pointed out to her mom that, you know, our race of men treat women like trash, leave them with kids and this and that. And the mom didn't say anything about it. I want to talk, basically, that shows you that her mom didn't want to be wrong about what she was taught by her mom and by her culture. It's kind of like she would rather she would rather someone in her race hurt her child than someone outside her race hurt her child. It's kind of a messed up mentality where they, if their children are unhappy with the people in their race and they can't find what they want in their race, the parents and the culture don't care. They want to continue the child to be miserable, and they want to just push on this narrative that you have to keep the culture alive because that person is not a part of our culture. That person is an outsider, and also that person is not viewed in the right light by overall society. She also said, that proved my point, my recent point, that if someone in her family dated a white person, she would treat that person like gold. Because guess what? Every race think that the white people can absolve them from being talked about by the world. They think that every white person is the ambassador of the world and will absolve them when they're with them. And that's not true. They think, every race of women think that if they with a white guy, that they can get they can get special treatment in the world, and they won't be seen as a second class citizen. They will be treated right, and they will get the best benefits that society has to offer. So if they see a white person, date a white person, be next to a white person, and dog down black people, that they will get exaltment. But then when they see that it's not true, they try to, become allies with black people in order to use black people's strength of them dealing with the crap. For black people have been dealt a real blow to every other race. We've been the punching bag of every other race, and despite that, most black people are very successful and very talented, and we have more creativity than a lot of other races, because we was always the bottom. So everyone wants to use the strength of black people and the support of the support line of black people for their culture, but they don't want to initiate and bring in anybody that's black into their culture, and they don't want to treat them with respect. So in turn, she tells the story about, how her mom pretty much told her that if she dated a black man, she would get kicked out of the house and be disowned. That shows you right then and there that they really see black people as the lower forms. They can't, she said, her mom said, they all, what is it? I gotta look at it again. She said, we all children of God. If you really actually believe that we're children of God, all of us, that means you wouldn't really be that harsh to your own child, that if she wanted to date another race, because you don't know how it turned out. You don't know if she dates a white man and she ends up getting, hurt or left with a kid, that you wrong. And if she ended with a black guy, he might be really successful, and you're gonna look bad in this whole thing. But it becomes apparent that we as black men have it harder than our counterparts to date interracially, because guess what? We're never promoted the right way. We're always seen as the bad guys. We're always being looked down upon by every other race. And when they find out that we're not like that, they don't want to apologize. They don't want to say we're wrong. They don't want to try to change, alternate their culture into accepting certain people into their culture. Like, hey, they're not all like that. We're gonna close the gate on some of them, but we can't close the gate on all of them. And they don't have that mindset. But the fact is, and the real reality of what this video told you about, is that black people will accept anybody to be liked. Also, there is a small percentage of black people who have that mindset just like them, but it's not as harsh. See, black women, black mothers will not tell their daughters they're going to kick them out if they date a white guy. They'll big up them because it's a infatuation. They won't say that. Asian moms won't do that to their daughters if it's a white guy. It always goes to being loved by one race of person, or your own race. But if they think that their daughters are going to date a black man, that means that their daughter is not going to get any benefits, that the best benefits that the world has to offer. And then when they feel like they're wrong and the white guy didn't give them all the benefits, they say, okay, go back to your race. But then the black guy might have better benefits than the white guy and the person in their race. They don't want to be wrong. So basically it means they're stubborn and they're arrogant to the fact that they don't want to be wrong. So in this video, she tells you a lot of key points on how it is when you date, when you get into a relationship, or even get married into a family that isn't black, that's on the other side. You have to deal with a lot of different things where they're just consistently trying to rub you the wrong way by saying certain things. And my interactions with a lot of Latinos, especially in my hometown, is that they do a lot of grimy stuff to black people. You know, I go to a bodega that I just go in there once in a while, and every time I go there, the price of fruit snacks changes. See, I go in there some days and it's the same person at the cash register. He tells me that the fruit snack is 75 cents. This is I think a Puerto Rican guy or a Dominican guy. He says it's 75 cents. So I go in there a couple of times, it's 75 cents. So sometimes I don't go there in like 2 months, and then, you know, the third month I go in there because I'm by the store, and then they say, well, he says $1, and I say, wait, $1? I say, it keeps changing. And then he looks at me like I'm weird or something. I'm like, it changes. Like last time, a couple months ago, it was. I don't frequently go to that store. That's one thing on discrimination against a black person with Latino stores. I go to an all Latino gym. Well, I used to go to an all Latino gym, and at one point it was a time where they was asking everybody for a raffle or whatever to sign up for something. I forgot. So the girl at the front desk was going to every single body else but me. So I asked myself, wait. Do I look like I'm not, nice or kind or whatever? But I was wearing normal things. So I kind of figured it out, like, wow, this is how you treat your customers. So I understand the discrimination part, because when it comes to Asian people, I don't have a problem with Asian people, and I was never discriminated against by Asian people. I can say the percentage, it was probably like 2% discrimination when it comes to Asian people. Not even that much. White people, it's about 5% discrimination against them. When it comes to Latino, the percentage of being discriminated against is about like at least 45% when it becomes to them, because it's many times where they talk in front of me in Spanish and they thought I didn't understand, but when I was starting to learn Spanish, I knew what they were saying. And it was kind of like, wow, you really think that I don't understand what you're saying because you think that I'm stupid enough not to learn Spanish. So it became a problem where I stopped going to certain stores, I stopped going to certain areas because I started understanding what they were saying, and it was disrespectful stuff. And I seen how they treated me because I was black, but then go on national TV and they get mad at Trump for saying the things that he say and doing the things that he do, and they want black people to have sympathy for them, but they don't have sympathy for black people, and they want to look down on black people. So it's kind of a crazy thing, but at least she went against the grain. She showed more heart and more passion and more bravery in this video than a lot of black women do, because she showed the side of interracial dating. She showed the other side that proved it, that us black men, we have it harder when we venture out in our outside our race. It's not an easy cakewalk. So when we can't find the women that we want, and we're not desired by our type of women that we want, we have to go travel other places, and it's not an easy road. It's harder to do that than it is for the women. The women can just jump sides. They can go to a white guy, a black guy, anybody guy, and it won't be that hard for them, because guess what? They're women, and they could easily be controlled and manipulated sometimes. But with the black women, they don't have to ever deal with the white man ever being told that he's gonna be exiled if he get a black girlfriend. But every time a black man dates a white woman, she's threatened with exile. If a black man dates a Latino woman, she's threatened with exile. If a black man dates an Asian woman, she's threatened with exile. So the women who date black men take a big risk. And it shows in this video. And I hope more women show their side on what they had to deal with when they dated black men. It's not easy to go to another side, another race, and date another race at all. So big ups to her, and yeah, that's about it.